Welcome to this episode of All Access Aurora, and boy, do we have a show for you. We're going to kick off today with one of the coolest kayaking adventures around. It begins right here in our own city and explores three pretty cool suburbs of Aurora land. We're then going to head over and talk to the good folks at community and schools, learn a little bit about the history, but also what you can do right now today to get involved and make a tremendously positive impact in our community. Then it's time for our A-list restaurant of the week. We're going to be hanging out with Chef Amore. This is a guy you're absolutely going to want to meet. Then in our entertainment section, long before it's lights, camera, action, long before you're in the audience here in Aurora, there is all kinds of legwork that goes in to bringing truly A-list talents to our stages, and we're going to learn the behind the scenes, a little bit of the shenanigans, a little bit of the nomenclature that brings that talent right here. And then we're going to end up taking a peek at one of the coolest buildings in Aurora, a building that's been around since before the Great Chicago Fire. And believe me, when you have an opportunity to hang out for a couple minutes with the owner of this building, you're truly going to be amazed. We're going to go ahead and hop in right now, kicking it off with Kayaking Amoy.
We are excited this morning to kick off what we've been calling Kayaks Amoy. Kayaking from Aurora to Montgomery to Oswego to Yorkville. Let's give a round of applause to all the kayakers and all their planners. This is exciting. First time as we bring these municipal leaders together to really show the impact of the Fox River on all of our communities. Allow me to introduce the mayor of this city as he enters his third term to lead the city of Aurora, city second to none. Please welcome Mayor Tom Weisner.
Fox River has been the economic engine for our communities for more than a century, almost going on 2 centuries, really. We're about the business of reclaiming what is really the finest asset that any of us have in our riverfront communities, and that is the Fox River itself. So we're busy cleaning up the Fox River, the riverfront, and creating an economic engine based on activity, on recreation, on enjoyment of the Fox River itself. A new way to create an economic engine for all of us. What is a little bit unique about today, I think, is that this is really, as far as I'm concerned, a formal recognition that we will be working together from here on out to make sure that we optimize what happens along the Fox River, that people will be able to enjoy long stretches of the Fox, as we do today, as we kayak as far as Yorkville, and to work together to heighten both the amenities along our riverfront, but also to heighten awareness by people of what's available in our beautiful communities along the Fox.
After a final check of the gear, Aurora Mayor Tom Weisner leads the flotilla down the river to its first stop to learn about the boater bypass channel at the Earthen Dam in the village of Montgomery from President Matt Brawley.
The first leg from Aurora to Montgomery. I had a great time. It's like being on vacation in your own city.
I know we started in Aurora, and so you're right in the middle of this big city of Aurora. Well, when you get into Montgomery and you start making it down the river, you move into like a million miles away from here. You're on a kayak on a river. You could be 160 years ago, which is actually when the grist mill was built by our founder. So I think there's a lot of history, there's a lot of nature on this river, and one of the key items for this trip for me is actually highlighting the boater bypass project that the Village of Montgomery and others chipped in for that study about 5 years ago. And so we have the channel. We need to open up that waterway so that we can navigate from Aurora through Montgomery to Oswego and on.
Now it's time to push off and head downriver, where Village President Brian Leclerc will make a quick presentation at Violet Patch Park.
You know, you go along for several decades and nothing was really done about the Fox River. And all of a sudden now we're finding out, wait a minute, this is really the gem that all of us share. And so all of us are taking a part. We're coming together collectively as the mayors, as the representatives of our respective towns, and say, hey, let's work together. This is a regional asset. This is something that people travel from all over to be a part of. In fact, I talked to many folks from Chicago that come out to the white water park that we're going to hit in Yorkville today, and it's really neat to see that. But there's also other opportunities. There's biking, there's hiking, there's fishing, and then of course my love of kayaking.
After checking out the landscape at the kayak launch at Hudson Crossing in the village of Oswego, it's off for our final leg to the United City of Yorkville. And a visit with Mayor Pro Tem Chris Funkhauser.
Having this gem behind me, the Marge Klein Whitewater course, has been fantastic. We've had it for a couple years now. It's addressed a lot of issues we've needed. It's opened up our opportunities for recreation and tourism and our economic development downtown. We are the last part of the 13-mile stretch that goes from Aurora to here. Having the ability to have the 4 communities as a whole to try to seek these type of amenities and make this a greater element is fantastic. This is a small piece that we have, but it's all tied to the greater recreation of enjoying the Fox River, which is our main asset that we have. When you have these amenities, you get the influx at the local level, small businesses that come in, the locals come in, but on the grander scheme, if you get somebody coming from one stop to another, you're bringing in more people. They need those pit stops along the way, the places to pull out, have lunch, have something to drink, have a little refreshment. And that's key to it, is you have multiple options, multiple venues for people to want to come down. It's not a 1,200-foot whitewater course. It's a 13-mile excursion. So that's what it's really about, is expanding the horizon and the ability to bring in businesses and development that will center around the river and everything we have here.
Organizations can work on trying to accomplish tasks, but once you get the leadership from the top down involved, things just start to happen. What's real important about getting the mayors associated is because we want to get people to take ownership of their river. This is their river. It's not Aurora's, it's not Oswego, it's not Yorkville's, it's their river. And if we can get the communities involved with the river and get people to take ownership of it, they'll start taking care of their river, and which is what we want to have happen.
This event today, it's absolutely unique in the state. A lot of communities have developed whitewater parks, but first time today, these 4 mayors are cooperating to develop a regional whitewater park. This will be a national attraction.
Today, it was really cool to see the local mayors really fired up about promoting river access on the Fox River. It's because as whitewater boaters, we love whitewater, and as you know, Chicago and the whole Illinois area doesn't really have a lot of it. We have the Vermilion, we have Yorkville, which is awesome, but more whitewater, the better.
That was huge today. We had 4 towns working together. Montgomery wants a bypass channel. They thought they were all alone in the world in this desire, and Oswego, Aurora, and Yorkville stepped up and say, hey, we wanted to help you on this thing. And they all have an economic interest at heart, but they also have the interest of their community at heart as well, too. I mean, these things are healthy outdoor recreation, exercise, entertainment. They're great spectator sports, they're great active sports. I think now they've seen with their own eyes how valuable and necessary a component this is of a healthy community on a river.